What's up, guys? We are live. If you're watching this on playback, you will see me in just a moment. I'm getting my chat and my video section set up here with all my notes and everything on it. So hopefully if you're watching this on playback, you're not going, why am I seeing this picture and not seeing him? That's the reason why. And I think we are just about good here. What's up, RJ Rock? What's up, Ragu? 1 second. Hopefully my internet doesn't give me as much trouble tonight as it did on Tuesday, but it is what it is. What's up, guys? I don't have my music playing. Oh, well. Oh, well. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Unfortunately, Paigey said he's got a lunch date, so he may not be here till later or at all. So we're going to get started without Paigey. But it's okay. He may show up. If he does, we'll add him to the show and everything. What's up, Dragon Slayer? Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Gaming Beast. Hello, Darian, Superhero 2.0, Laura, Mark, Sam, Braden, Doc Savage, Elaine, Connor, Mountain, how are you? Thank you, J-Rod. I appreciate it. Okay, so I outlined the topics we're going to talk about, but that was under the assumption that Paigey was going to be here at the beginning. So we were going to go back over Supergirl and Flash. If you guys were here on my Tuesday show, you know we've already talked about Supergirl and Flash. So what I want to do is I'm going to talk about Black Lightning and Arrow primarily in this live stream. We'll do a Q&A, and I am going to talk a little bit about Supergirl and Flash because there is a couple of things that I thought about after we did our live stream that that I want to discuss with you guys. Hello, Superhero 2.0. Well, thank you. What's up, TF Artists? Cody, Comic Court, Anthony, Buzz Kazin. I hope I said that right. Giovanni, what's up, guys? Okay, a couple things I want to go over before we get started in the live stream here. The 4-channel crossover this month with me, Paigey, Ben, and Boba is going to be on my channel. I will be hosting it here. The date will be in early February, either right before Legends comes back or right after it comes back. We're not sure. It's going to be either before or after. So it's going to be definitely at the beginning of February. I will update you guys as we get closer to that. That's the first update. The other one is a lot of people have asked me to add a $1 tier to my Patreon so they can take part in that. I'm trying to make it more accessible because I want to add some special content just for Patreon. But right now, all I have is 2, 5, and 20, I believe are my tiers. So I'm going to add a $1 tier for people that said they want to try and contribute, but they don't have a lot of money. I totally understand. No big deal. So I'm going to add a $1 tier this week, and that will give you guys access to Patreon content. There will still be bonuses and perks for other tiers, but there will be a $1 tier for people that want to get access to those special things I'm going to be doing over at Patreon. So there's that. Those are the two major updates. Okay, so this week, almost every single show, in my opinion, was a semi-filler episode. Not totally filler, but semi-filler. Because there were some things that happened in all 3 of our regular shows, not counting Black Lightning, that did count towards some of the story arcs. But I do feel like the majority of the content we got this week was filler, which is okay. I didn't have a problem with it. We're going to address that here in a moment. Black Lightning was a completely different thing. So we're going to talk about Black Lightning as well, because I have a couple of things I want to talk about in regards to Black Lightning. It is Thursday at 11:40 right now. Yeah, Mark, I will be opening, I'm going to be updating my Discord. A few people got on tonight for the first time, so we can do a live chat while the shows are airing. So if you're watching them live, we will be able to chat live. So I think that's kind of cool. And yeah, I'll be adding that to Patreon, and that will be part of the $1 tier. And all the basic functionality stuff will be part of that $1 tier section in Patreon. And of course, everybody will have access to the text chat, and you'll be able to hear me. So all the other extra perks you'll get, like there's going to be special artwork and stuff added to Discord. I've already got somebody working on that, so I'm pretty excited about that. It's something that I've been kind of working on the back end, just taking me a while. What's up, What the Geek? Legato, CJ, how are you doing? Okay, so I do want to talk about one thing in regards to Supergirl. And we're going to get to Black Lightning in a second. Again, I've already discussed a lot about Supergirl and Flash this week. I did a live stream for that. I'm going to link it up here in the playback. So if you're watching this on playback, it's going to be up there. A lot of people seem to think that Supergirl, that Imra is mind controlling Mon-El and forcing him to be with her. That would be a really bad storyline, in my opinion. So I'm not thinking that's the case. Plus, we've been given no indication that Saturn Girl actually has telepathy on Supergirl. It's mostly been telekinesis. That's all they've talked about. That's all we've seen. So I want to know your guys' thoughts on that in regards to Saturn Girl and Mon-El. Because it is one of those things where it's kind of a touchy subject. A lot of people are concerned about it. They think that there's something else going on there because of the Caramel situation. So I'm on the fence of, I hope that it does not happen that way, that there is no mind control, because I think that would be a really bad thing for them to do, especially in the current climate, forcing someone to be with you. I think that would probably not be good. Sam, thank you so much. Arrow episode thoughts. Felicity was actually Felicity again. Minimal Felicity effect overall. William hints at Connor Hawk. Nissa and Roy coming back thoughts. I'm going to talk all about that in just a moment, Sam. You touched on just about every single thing I have in my notes here. So thank you for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate that. You're always so supportive. We are going to go over all of that. So thank you for reminding me. So that's all I really want to talk about in regards to Supergirl. I just want to know what you guys think about that, because it is sort of a touchy subject. We have a lot of stuff going on with that right now in our current climate. I think that it would be really bad for them to go that direction, which means that if Mon-El is married to her and he is in love with her, it's going to be really hard for it to get back to Caramel, which I know a lot of people are excited about. Okay, let's see. We're going to talk about a couple things about The Flash. Just a couple. Because some other stuff has come out, and this is kind of spoilery. So this is in regards to Iris West and some of the leaked set photos. Well, I don't say leaked, but I'm not going to show them again. But I do want to talk about something that came up today. Natalie Abrams, who works for, I believe, Entertainment Weekly, gets a lot of like spoilery stuff. She gets a lot of hot takes from the show. And apparently, according to her, again, spoiler, the speedster suit we see Iris wearing is going to be the Earth 1 Iris West. So, if she's correct, that means that our Iris, the one we know and see every single week, is going to be a speedster. Maybe for one episode, 2 episodes. I'm really kind of... I don't know how I feel about that. I'm hoping that if it is a speedster Iris, she's from another Earth, or she's from the future. But according to Natalie Abrams, who is usually right, she usually gets real information, it is going to be Earth 1 Iris, the one we know. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see if that's what's actually going to happen, because it's going to be kind of weird. Kind of weird, I have to say. Yes, I am alone right now, Savage. Paigey may show up a little bit later. So, yeah. So we're dealing with a situation where it may actually be Iris from our Earth, which is a little strange because a lot of people have already complained about Iris being a jack of all trades this season and just put in wherever she can fit. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Joel, they did say it was temporary, but yeah, she's supposed to be the one from Earth 1, our timeline that we're in right now. So we'll see. I also want to address some stuff. I seem to have, as usual, triggered people with my review of The Flash, the one that I put up today. Just going to throw it out there. I did not dislike the episode, and I thought I made that very clear in my review. I really enjoyed the scenes between Barry and Big Sur and the stuff between Barry and Iris, and I enjoyed seeing Ralph get a new costume. There was just a lot of other problems with the episode that I just didn't like, and I still gave it a 7 out of 10. So there's a lot of negative comments on that video saying, Eric, why do you hate the show so much? Why are you complaining about it? Why do you give it such a bad score? 7 out of 10 is not really a bad score. In my book, 7 out of 10 is above average. If I give something a 5, I'm saying that it's just average. If I give it a 6, I'm saying it's above average. If I give it a 7, then it's slightly above average, in my opinion. So if I give something a 7, I'm not saying it's horrible and that I hate it. There was just some stuff that I didn't like. I'm not going to give every single thing that I watch an 8, 9, or 10. It's just not going to happen. So the fact that I'm criticizing certain things that I didn't like, that's sort of my thing. So maybe it's just an influx of people that are new to my channel. But if you are, just know that if I give something a 7, that doesn't mean that I hate it. I don't hate a show if I get... A 7 is a good score. So I don't know. I just want to address that. Okay, so we're going to jump ahead now. Legato, do you think they should have used Wally instead of Ralph? I just don't understand why Ralph is being put up on this pedestal. Like, that's my only thing. I'm just very, very confused with that. And the tone was a little bit off. The stuff with Barry and Big Sur when he was in prison and dealing with that felt like The Flash to me. Not just because, it was on Barry or whatever. Just that tone. All of that felt like The Flash to me. Without the suit, without anybody else, it just felt like the show. And then we went over to the stuff that was happening with Cisco and Ralph and Iris and Caitlin and Harry that was kind of just thrown in there. I don't know. It was just kind of weird to me. I just, maybe I'll like it better next week. I don't know. It was just this one episode, I guess. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into Black Lightning, because I know a lot of people wanted me to talk about that from this week. I have to say I am absolutely loving Black Lightning. It feels so different from the other 3 shows. And I don't mean just in like tone. It just feels different. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like I'm watching a show that comes from a different cloth. You know what I mean? It's like it's cut from a different cloth. I love the fact that music is so integral to the show. That's one of the things I really loved about Luke Cage, was that when Marvel made Luke Cage, they said music is going to be a huge part of the series. The music was going to be very important to that show. And I kind of like that, the DC shows are giving us a little bit of that with Black Lightning. Every single scene has music that goes along with it, and it sort of sets the mood. And that's kind of cool to me. But I know they're paying a ton in royalties, probably, on music. So I really like that about it. Maybe I'm loving it because it is different right now. Maybe I'm overlooking things that are probably not great, but I'm okay with that. It's the premiere of the show. I don't know what the ratings are going to be when they round all of them up. We'll talk about that on Monday in my rant and preview mega video, multiverse mega video. Sorry, I don't want to say rant and preview. They'll demonetize it. But I'm digging it. All right. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm kind of digging it right now. So, yeah. So another thing with Black Lightning this week is we got to touch on, let's see if I'm getting disconnected. No, there we go. Looks good. I got my phone with me tonight. So if we get some internet problems, I'm going to switch us to another server. It looks like we got a touch of him being addicted to his powers this week, which I was worried about how they were going to portray that, but I think they did a great job. I think they did a great job with it. Gambi seems to think he's not addicted to his powers. Come on. Stop lagging on me. Stop lagging on me. All right. Let's try this. They're forcing my hand here. 1 second, guys. If you're watching this on playback, I do apologize. I do. Ah! I'm dropping things. Here we go. Trying to get this out of my way. Is that good? Is that better? If you're watching this on playback, you're probably like, is this pro? Is this a pro show? Is this pro? Okay, so let's get back to that. I think we're good. I switched to a faster connection. Okay, we're good. Back. Okay, so Black Lightning felt like he was addicted to his powers. I love the way they portrayed that. I hope that we see more of that in the season. I think that's going to be a big point of it. Gamby doesn't think he's addicted to his powers, but his ex on and off wife believes that he is. So it's going to be interesting to see how they address that. I don't think that I can remember on the CW shows if we've ever had a hero that was addicted to their powers in that way. Because it was almost like, it felt very like an addict, you know what I mean? In that scene. And then it was like, you know, his lady comes in, his wife comes in, and she sort of takes him out of that moment. And I thought that was very touching, and I really love that. Hey, what's up, True Talk? So I'm excited to see where we're going to go with that. I'm really excited to see where we're going to go with Black Lightning in terms of the addiction to his powers. Another thing I noticed this week, maybe more so than last week, is Black Lightning is pretty legit when it comes to the violence. Pretty legit. It reminds me a lot of Arrow's Season 1 and Season 2. It takes me back to that, where we had Oliver Queen who just didn't care, and he went out and did what he had to do. I feel like Black Lightning is right there on the cusp of that. And it's crazy how much they can get away with on the CW shows, because I knew they could do quite a bit, but Black Lightning takes it to another level. So, yeah. I feel like that's pretty cool that they don't hold back on that. So, again, I just love it. So, how did this episode compare to the first episode for you guys? If you watched this week's Black Lightning, how do you think it compared to the first episode? I personally like the direction of the show. I think the episode was a great additional brick in the foundation of Black Lightning. I have yet to see anything that really stands out as a weak element to me in terms of Black Lightning. But I do believe as we get further into the show, we will probably find things that don't work. So, well, Mark is saying his powers are an addiction. It's his anger no longer wanting to be bottled up. That's cool. I would deal with that. I could totally go along with that. Could it be said that Oliver was addicted to the list in the beginning and dealing out justice in the name of his father? Absolutely. Absolutely it could be. There's a direct, I feel like there's such a connection between what we had in the first couple seasons of Arrow and the way Black Lightning is going right now. It's very much tied to family. It's tied to the community, the city. And what I think was interesting is when Black Lightning, when Jefferson was talking about why he was doing what he was doing, he wasn't doing it for his city, even though it feels like that's what it's going to end up being. He said he was doing it for his family. And I think that's a very important distinction. So I'm kind of excited to see when that's going to switch. When he's actually going to just officially say, Black Lightning is here to stay. He's doing it for his city. It's not just for his family. So I think that's going to be kind of an interesting path to follow for that character. Yes, Cody, I agree with that. Some of the music is too on the nose. Yeah, CB, I guess you could say that. But I love that style of music, so every time something comes on, I'm just like vibing with it while I'm watching the show. So Sam says, I think Black Lightning, based off the second episode, is heading in a good direction. I definitely agree with you. Yes, What the Geek, I understand that. But since Oliver isn't a meta, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm more talking about like powers. And yes, somebody mentioned Zoom being addicted to the injections he was getting from Speed. But again, that wasn't actually, like, he was addicted to the injections he was getting, I think, the speed upgrades he was getting more so than his own speed. But yeah, it kind of falls along the same lines as that. Let's see. While Barry's in jail, do you think it would be a good idea for Flash Rider to take Barry's place instead of the Flash Rider to take Barry? Tedrick, I think Ralph, I said this in my video, and I know I'm jumping back to Flash real quick, but I want to address this. I feel like Barry being in jail was specifically done to give Ralph the spotlight for a few episodes because Ralph's powers are so expensive that it's a trade-off. And this is one of the problems they had with having multiple speedsters on the show. With the amount of money they have, they cannot have one person doing all these crazy things because they can't have more than one person doing all these crazy things because it's so expensive. So they're focusing on Ralph right now. So they took their Barry out of the element for a moment. And I kind of think that's what's going on. Yes, Tobias Whale, his scene at the end was great, seeing that he's a force to be reckoned with in the city. So, yeah, I want to do a video about Static Shock, but I need to see another episode before I figure out how I would work him into the show. Mr. J's Review says, I think the death of LaWanda was a really good call in action to save the city. A speech about his dream for students really hit the point home there. Yes, I absolutely agree. I think that the time that was spent in the gym talking to people, you could see like the buzzers going off. You know what I mean? Like you could see that he was sort of understanding that he can't do all of this just what he's doing there in the schools. And he even said that when he was talking about how he thought he was saving more people by teaching them and helping them that way. And he's realizing that it's not going to work just that one way. And I do believe that's going to sort of be the call to action for him to finally just step up and say, I'm a superhero, and I love that. And the fact that we're getting more stories on his daughters. I feel like it's like, you're watching Anissa and you're thinking, come on, get it together. But it's true that you find a lot of times with kids growing up, you have parents that try to force you into a bottle and you rebel against that, even if you're doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing, simply because you don't want to feel like you're being told that you have to do something. So I honestly feel like that's where Anissa's coming from. So I'm really interested in her character. So that's going to be kind of cool. Jack, what was my least favorite episode this week? If I had to, without scoring it, I would say probably the one that I had the least fun watching out of all of them was probably The Flash. So yeah. It wasn't horrible. It was just out of the four of them, that was the one that I probably had the least fun watching. Christina says, I wasn't a fan of Iris being the team leader, and now I'm not a fan of her being a speedster or metahuman. I hope this season The Flash won't be focusing on Iris being a hero. I don't know where they're going with this. We're getting a lot of mixed information from different sources about what's going to happen with Iris. We don't know if it's going to be our Iris, but some legitimate sources have said it is going to be our Iris, so we'll have to wait and see. So let's go ahead and jump into Arrow. I'm gonna talk to Arrow for a little bit because there's a lot of stuff that I want to unpack here with this episode. So Arrow, again, just like Flash and Supergirl, was kind of fillerish, but it was probably, to me, it was kind of an entertaining filler episode. I know this episode is gonna be very divisive for people because of the fact that there was a lot of questions presented, but there wasn't a lot of resolutions given. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with Arrow in terms of that. But there are a few things I want to talk about here. Very true, True Talk. So one of the things I really liked that was addressed in this episode. Yeah, we can do that, Sam. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Vigilante in just a second, but I've got my list here. I want to go through these in the order that I put them out. Oliver finally faced the music for lying to William. And I think it was handled pretty well. You know, it's like Felicity talked about the fact that Oliver has lied to her before. William addressed the fact that Oliver would just lie again, and that's just who he is as a person. And I do like that they actually address that, because that has been one of my complaints for the last 4 or 5 weeks, or 4 or 5 episodes, I should say, is that Oliver continuously lies to William and nothing was ever said about it, or, you know, they never touched on it. So I was glad that they addressed that in this episode. Even if it wasn't done perfectly, I thought it was handled pretty well. So I did like that they finally sort of wrapped that up in a way. I also like that Team Fake Arrow, as I like to call them, is already starting to deal with problems within the 3 of them that they were having with the main team. When there were 6 of them, 7 of them. In a team of 3, they're already dealing with problems. Like, for example, when Curtis came back with the info from Vigilante, and he didn't tell the other 2 members, there really was no reason for him not to tell them. There was absolutely no reason why Curtis couldn't have told them what he was doing. And that's why when they called him, you know, or I believe Renee said he was acting like Oliver. Absolutely he was. Which goes along with me complaining with the fact that the problem was not Oliver. The problem it comes along with the job. It comes along with the job. But Curtis had no reason to lie to them. He had no reason to lie to them. So I thought that was very interesting that we went that way. So going back to Sam's question about Vigilante. So another thing is, I've talked about Vigilante quite a bit. At least the last 2 or 3 episodes I've brought this up. How it didn't make sense that Vigilante, being a vigilante hero, was working with a group of villains. And he says now that, or he tells Curtis that he is playing Caden because Caden is one of his targets. Is it just me? Is it just me? Or do I feel like Vigilante is doing a triple fake out? Because I feel like Vigilante, if he's working with Caden as his target, just think about this logically here, okay? Why would he have to keep that a secret from the rest of Team Arrow? And I'm not talking about just Dinah. I'm talking about the whole team. Every one of them. Like, there's absolutely no reason why he would be keeping that from them. So I believe it could be a triple fake out. I think that he is lying to Dinah because Caden is using him as a pawn, which is probably the reason why he has him there in the first place. So I feel like there's a triple fake out going on. Also, there was no Richard Dragon tonight. I'm sad. I don't think he was in any scenes. Was he with them when they were fighting in that group battle? Was he? I don't think I saw any scenes with Richard Dragon tonight. Yeah. Anyway, and yes, you're right. That's absolutely right, CB. Why would Vigilante not be taking his mark out now? He's never hesitated before. Any other time we've seen him go after someone, he goes after them and he eliminates them. This is why I don't trust him. This is why I don't trust him. Yeah, no Black Siren either. That's true. Okay, so yeah, I think Vigilante is a triple agent. So that's my take on it. Okay, so I'm going to get to that in 1 second. Let's talk about Caden's motives. Caden's motives, in my mind, are kind of stupid. Now, the showrunners have said that there's going to be some huge twist with Caden James in regards to his story this season that we've never seen on Arrow before. But based on what we've seen on Arrow, what kind of twist could it possibly be? Unless everything Caden is telling us is a complete lie. I mean, we could go that route. And yes, Giovanni, that is, I actually have that right here on my sheet. It says, Caden's motives are silly, feels like a reverse of last season, but not as cool. That's exactly what I have on my notes here. It feels like he is trying to pull a Simon Morrison, Adrian Chase Prometheus, but he's doing it so backwards from that. When he had that conversation with Oliver at the beginning of the episode in the mayor's office, I thought, oh my gosh, are we just doing this Adrian Chase Prometheus stuff again? And I'm also tired of these villains who were coming after Oliver over something that he did that supposedly affected their family. Like, it feels like this is a rehash of last season. Not to mention, Caden goes, it's not about the money. I think he said it's not about the money. His motives are not about the money. I don't get it. I don't understand anything that he's doing. Why is he hurting innocent people? That's my question. Why is he hurting innocent people? If it's not about the money, and he was part of this hacktivist group that Argus was going after, which, by the way, where is Argus at? Where is Argus in all this? Argus, they went after him. And they had him. Where are they at during all of this? Where's Lila? Where's Argus at? None of this makes any sense to me whatsoever. This story with Caden is just absolutely ridiculous. I do not get it. I wish we knew more about it. I don't believe that his son has anything to do with this at all. I mean, I get that they keep talking about it. I feel like they're just, I don't get it. I don't get it. Am I missing something? Please let me know in the comments. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the Felicity Williams scene in tonight's episode. You guys know I'm not, to make Oliver suffer, but suffer how? By giving him money? It's really silly to me. The Felicity Williams scene in tonight's episode was probably the best Felicity scene we've had in a really long time. The way they framed that scene with the action set piece happening while she was talking to William and the way they went back and forth and the way it was edited, it was probably the best scene in tonight's episode. And there were a couple of really cool scenes. See, here's the thing. Even though this episode wasn't that great in terms of content, I think there was a lot of really cool stuff that happened. The Felicity scene with William talking about Oliver and showing him out in the field, I thought that was great. I thought it was great. I'm just like, oh, okay. This is the kind of Felicity I would love to have every single week. Couldn't we have this Felicity in every episode? That would be really awesome if we could. Oh, God, goodness. But yes, I agree. This was one of the best scenes, if not the best scene of Felicity that we've had. So, yes, I enjoyed it. I agree with Paigey. If that is, like, I wish he was here so I could talk to him about it. But yes, I agree with him if that's what he said in his video. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. What was I going to say? I completely had a brain fart there. Oh, by the way, going back to the Curtis stuff, remember last week, I believe it was last week, we talked about the T-Spears and how everyone can hack them. Now, apparently, Vigilante can hack them. Apparently, Vigilante can hack the T-Spheres. They are like everyone gets one. You can just go down to the store and buy yourself a T-Sphere and program it, and you could be a hero. I'm like, what? That was kind of bad. That got under my skin. That really triggered me. Okay, so Captain Pike. People were kind of upset at how, I saw a couple of people on Twitter that were upset about how that was handled because it was glossed over really quickly with Captain Pike. The people, I was watching it with some friends, and when they saw him in the elevator, they said, "Is that Captain Pike?" Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's Captain Pike. What in the world? And he gets, spoiler, he gets killed off so easily. Oh, man. I was like, what? So there's a lot of people upset about that. And they acted like it was no big, like it was mentioned a couple times and then no big deal. So I guess, it is what it is. The thing was, he's only been in one episode this season. I believe he was in Fallout and then this episode. And that's it. So there was no build up to that. It's really weird. I didn't like the William in danger plot, but let's talk about the exciting scenes. I like the scene where Oliver was going to rescue William in the tunnel. I liked it. It felt very weird because it was in a weird spot in the episode. That felt like an action set piece that should happen at the end of the episode, but it was like in the first 25 minutes, I think. But I really, really like that. I like that scene. But my favorite scene of the night, honestly, was watching Dinah stop a train with her canary cry. Now, I know people are going to be like, you're either going to be like, I love it, or no, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I happen to think it was really cool. I was like a little kid watching it. I was like, oh my God, is she going to stop the train with her canary cry? And then she did. So I thought that was really cool. So yeah, that was probably my favorite stuff for tonight. So I'm going to make a video about this, but does anybody feel like they're trying to set William up to be like the Connor Hawk / Damian Wayne for the show? I kind of got the impression that was what was happening at the beginning when they were like practicing together. And then when they brought him down to the bunker and started showing him around, I was like, wait a minute, are they trying to set him up as a Connor Hawk / Damian Wayne character for the show? So I kind of get the impression that might be what they're doing. I don't know for sure, but I'm sort of feeling that way about it. William needs a ride to the sunset. Yeah, that's possible, True Talk. I'm just tired of people having access to them at all. At all. That's just my feeling about it. The T-Spears should be Curtis's thing, period. And that's just me, personally. So I'm probably going to make a video about William and that whole thing, the Damian Wayne / Connor Hawk stuff. So I'm going to make one. I actually have 2 videos I need to get out. I have a Killer Frost video I did, and I also have a Runaways video that I did that I need to edit and upload for you guys. And I have to get my Black Lightning review done. I've got all my notes for it. I just need to record it. I was going to do it this evening, but time caught up with me. If you guys don't know, I have a bunch of stuff family-wise going on right now that's taking a lot of my time. So I'm going to do my best to get it back. Connor Reed, thank you so much. That was the last thing on my notes for Arrow. Katrina Law is coming back to the show, which means Nyssa is going to be alive. I don't know if this should come as a big surprise because we had no idea what happened to her, but she's coming back to the show. So this is kind of cool to me. I miss Nyssa. I love her as a character. So having her come back is awesome. I think she's going to inject some much needed personality into the show at the moment because I feel like a lot of characters are stagnant. You know, Team Fake Arrow is... I feel like they broke off from Arrow so they could give them more separate scenes, but it's just not... Yeah. What about Talia? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, she went back to help Artemis and disappeared. I wonder if Artemis is alive. So does this mean that Nissa's going to come back and find out that Oliver's married to Felicity and get triggered? Is that possible? I feel like that could be a possibility. All right, so that's pretty much it for this. If Paige manages to make it back in time, we'll go back over Supergirl and Flash. I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes chatting with you guys and answering questions. So let's do that. Let's do an old school Q&A with you guys. Anything you want to ask me about, anything at all. It doesn't just have to be about DC TV shows. We could talk about whatever you guys want to talk about for the next 15 minutes. Because we still got a few minutes. We still got 15 or 20 minutes to go before I end the live stream. I wonder if we'll get flashbacks to the island and maybe see what happens to her and Talia. That would be really cool. Is it crazy to say, because you guys know how much I hated flashbacks, is it crazy to say that I'm kind of missing them now because I feel like some segments in the episode don't flow quite as well without the flashbacks? That's, yeah, kind of weird that I'm saying that, but I'm admitting it. Is Rain maybe just a pawn? Absolutely, I think Rain is a pawn. I think Rain is being used by the people that created the World Killers. And yeah, so I absolutely believe that. Do I watch Game of Thrones? Yes, I do. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Do I watch it? Absolutely. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. Do I watch Riverdale? No. I watched the first season. I haven't watched this season, though. How long have I been a DJ? For 25 years. I've been DJing since the 90s. Will the voice chat be Patreon only? The functionality to voice chat will be Patreon only, but to hear me and other people talk, it will not be. So if you are one of the $1 tiers, you'll be able to come in and text type and hear other people chat in the chat thing. But in order to have the functionality unlocked to voice chat, yes, that will be tied to Patreon. But it won't lock you out of the voice chat. It will just prevent you from voice chatting. Like, if that makes any sense. And that'll just be in the beginning. It won't be like that for good. How many bus betas are left to be revealed? 7, I think. I think it's 7, maybe 6. Am I excited for Black Panther? Absolutely. That movie, I'm more excited for that than I am for Infinity War. And I'm really excited for Infinity War. But I'm very excited about Black Panther. I love it. I can't wait to see Shuri. I can't wait to see Wakanda. I can't wait to see all of that. I'm so glad that Marvel's doing it. I think it's awesome. Thawne is coming back this season. Yes, it's been sort of confirmed that he's coming back. Office or Parks and Rec? I've watched Parks and Rec, and I watch Office when it comes on, but I'm not like an avid. I never sat down and like watched a bunch of episodes back to back. When Lawanda said, "Why did Black Lightning save your kids and nobody else?" Shouldn't that have set off some red flags with everybody? There was a lot of scenes, J-Rod, that should have put everything together. I'll be completely honest. Black Lightning to me falls into the Supergirl category of people should know who he is. Just like they should know who she is. It should be no question. What was my favorite you mean like non-superhero movie, CB? My favorite non-superhero movie? Thank you for the donation, by the way. $2. Thank you so much. My favorite non-superhero movie of 2017. If that's what you mean, I'm going to say it's probably either It or... see, what did I really like? It was at the top of my list, probably. Yeah, I'm going to say It. It would have been my favorite non-superhero movie of this past year. Sayuja says, what Flash writers do with Tom Cavanaugh? He's been totally used this season and had minimal usage in season 3. He's going to be another Wally, slowly becoming useless. I don't know what they're doing with them. They kept him around, and I've said this before. Why keep people around if you're not going to do anything with them? You know, it's just, you add Ralph onto the show and you have several characters who are not getting used, like Wally and Tom. So I don't know. I hope that they do something with him. I was hoping we were going to get another version of him this season. They kept saying that we were going to get one, and all we had was like the Council of Wells. Mr. J's review, you're happy they're moving in new DC shows and adding the Arrowverse off season? I think it's a really smart move. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind like off season stuff. I actually enjoy it because then it'll give me stuff to do when the shows come to an end. Like when the normal season ends this year, Supergirl will still be going. And then we'll also have Gotham. And we'll also have Cloak and Dagger. We'll have other shows to talk about. So I think that's great. I'm very excited about it. What the Geek says, on Supergirl, I'm thinking the final showdown this season is going to be Rain versus Kara versus Purity and Pestilence. Any thoughts? That would be really cool, What the Geek. That would be really cool. That's actually a good idea. That could be true. I never thought about that. Do I watch Happy? No, I've never watched it. Do I think that Roy is Caden James' son? I hope not. I really, really hope not. Really, really, really hope not. But a lot of people are thinking that's going to be the case. Do I think they're going to bring Bart Allen in for this season? No, I don't think so. I think that by having Dawn Allen as part of the show, I don't think we're going to see Bart Allen this season. Am I going to do non-superhero movie reviews this year? I don't know. Would you guys want to see that? I mean, if enough people were interested, I would. Eric, Soulstone Theories. Mine's Hearth of the Dwarven Space Forge. That's a good guess, Mark. A lot of people are going with the whole thing about it being in Heimdall, but that's a good theory. I haven't really thought much about that because I just kind of went with the fact that it's probably him. But that's a really cool guess. But when they have wait a minute, I missed something. They have an episode highlighting Dibney. Everyone complains that it's filler. Okay, so TF Artist, who do you like as Reverse Flash, Matt or Tom? Thank you for the donation. I like both of them. I think Tom in season 1 was vastly different from Matt's Reverse Flash, but I think Matt has kind of grown into the character over the last few years. So when Tom came back in Crisis, it felt a little weird, but I still like both of them. But I have an affinity for Matt. I've actually met Matt, talked to him several times. He's really, really nice. And I think he did a great job on Legends with the material he was given. So I'll say Matt is probably edges Tom out for me. But Tom season 1, I think, is probably one of the best versions of Reverse Flash that we've had in all of media. But Matt is my favorite long term now that we've seen him in different versions. So let me make this very clear about filler. When I talk about filler, I'm saying filler in the sense that it does not add to the primary storyline. For me, any episode that does not add to whatever the season is about is technically a filler episode. So when you have an episode about Ralph, even though it's giving Ralph character progression, the season is not about Ralph. It's about Barry dealing with the Thinker. So for me, a episode specifically about Ralph's character progression is filler. Filler is not like a bad word to me. Like when I say filler, I don't mean like, oh God, I absolutely hate this episode. It's filler. Filler can be good filler. This week, I think all the shows did a decent job with the filler material they were given. I just don't particularly understand aspects of Ralph being pushed ahead as the main superhero when characters like Killer Frost and Cisco that have been around for a lot longer should be taking the lead in that regard. That's just... Let's try this. I don't have a problem with filler episodes. I don't have a problem with Ralph being, given more character time. Hannah, do you think we'll see Don Allen or just Dawn Allen? I think just one of them. I don't think we're going to see both of them. I think they may mention a brother, but I don't think we're going to see a brother. RJ Rock, I have not had a chance to think about that, but I will by next live stream. I'll have an answer for you if you show up. Okay, amazing to one. I'll consider that. So after you're hearing your thoughts on Reverse Season 5, curious your thoughts on Lady Shiva. Well, I would think if Nissa's coming back, it would be kind of a cool time to bring Lady Shiva in. We could have like a girl bad guy / good guy like story arc. I think that would be kind of cool. I would love for it to like happen enough to like plant the seeds for it and then maybe lead into like a season 7 Lady Shiva, Nissa, Return of League of Assassins, Longbow Hunters type season. I think that would be really cool. Turner, to me, they did not use the Trickster right this season. I just don't feel like that version of the Trickster works on the show. Like, it just felt very weird. Like, there was no threat. There was no threat from that character. So, that's just my opinion. Giovanni, did you think of what you're going to do with the Smallville episodes? What I might do is to bypass the problems with YouTube, is I may release them to Patreon first for like the first week or so, and then make it available to everybody after that. That might be a way to sort of circumvent that a little bit. But we'll see. I think I'm going to have to sort of incorporate that with Patreon until YouTube adds a subscription service for like regular channels, because right now they don't have that. So it's like if they're going to demonetize videos, I have to find a way to be able to get around their, because when they do that, it like reduces visibility. So I want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to see it. So if I put it in Patreon first, then the people that are waiting for it over there will get to see it for sure on Patreon. And then when I release it here, hopefully by then they'll have cleared it and the monetization will have started and the restrictions will be lifted off of it. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll have to see. Legato, thoughts on Runaways? I love the Runaways. The Runaways was like Stranger Things meets Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love that show. I could not wait to watch it. The minute it would drop on at 12 o'clock my time, I would go on, or 12 o'clock on the release time of the show, which was like 3 o'clock my time, I think. Yeah, somewhere around there. I would go and watch the episode. And I wanted to do reviews for that, but there's just so many things to review that it was hard for me to find a space for Runaways, which is unfortunate because I love that show. However, what I may do with Runaways, well, I'll ask you guys now. There's enough of you guys in here right now. Would you rather me review Runaways episode by episode after these seasons are done? Or would you rather me just do a full season overview and then theory / comic book videos throughout the summer about Runaways? Because I read almost all the Runaways comics and I went back and bought them again and downloaded them on digital. And there's so many things they could possibly do. There's tie-ins with Cloak and Dagger, which I think is awesome. And I love those characters. And I actually think there's some stuff on the show they did better than they did in the comics. So I'm really, really happy about that. Thoughts on the Gifted finale? I think the Gifted really amped it up in the back half of their season. I cannot wait to talk about the last 4 or 5 episodes. I'm going to save that for my overview because Gifted did some really cool stuff I was not expecting. As cool as Kate's powers are, do you think their writers are putting themselves in a hole with their split personality thing and simply bypassing using it as a gag? So here's the thing. Like I said, I have a Killer Frost video that I've been working on. And I'll talk about it a little bit with you guys here, but I'm going to go in much more detail when I make the video. So everything that happened last season with Killer Frost, I can accept that the team has sort of forgiven her as a character. And because of this split personality thing, I think they're sort of trying to forgive Caitlyn. That's an easy way to forgive her. Oh, it's a split personality. So Caitlyn isn't actually responsible for all the stuff that Killer Frost did. But if you think about it, last season, it seemed like whenever Caitlyn would go full on Killer Frost and go after people, she was aware of what she was doing. Or at least to a degree, Caitlyn was aware of what she was doing. She may not necessarily have been in control when Killer Frost took over 100%, but she was very much aware of what she was doing. So I feel like by giving her that split personality, they're trying to absolve her of anything that she did, right? That's how I feel. So my video is going to be, why is it that Killer Frost, a known criminal who worked with Savitar, who flew around the city on ice, attacking superheroes, attacking other people, doing all of these things. Why is it that the Central City Police Department has not come looking for her? That's just my opinion. She's out with Team Flash. There's been no call to arms about turning her in. They know who she is. She attacked the police station. So there's got to be something, like, has to be something about that this season, or I'm going to feel really let down if they don't address that at all. Because just because the team has forgiven her doesn't mean that the rest of the city has. True Talk, what happened to my Marvel Monday videos? Two things. Number one, my Marvel Monday videos, there was only at one point one show on for a little while other shows were taking a break. And it got to the point where it's like, why would I do like a full mega video for like one, maybe two shows? So there just wasn't enough on at the time to do that. So I decided to get away from doing those videos and focus on like live streaming and things like that. So I was thinking about adding another night of live streaming. So now we do Thursdays. This is going to be an every Thursday thing. The DCTV Roundup. We're going to do this every single Thursday where we talk about all the shows from the week. I was thinking about doing a breaking news type show on Mondays where we talk about like movies, TV shows that I don't cover normally, things along that line, and Marvel shows and things that I don't do separate videos for. Like maybe a 1 hour live stream on Mondays, a little bit earlier in the evening. And we talk about stuff like that. Maybe even like an earlier, like much earlier live stream on Mondays. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. You can talk about it in the comment section below on this video after it uploads, or you guys can let me know over here somewhere. CB2198 says Coke or Pepsi. Well, I have, you're not going to believe this. Actually, let me show you this. Hold on. Watch this. I have one of each. So I don't know if I should pick one or the other. Thoughts on Disney buying out a lot of Fox and who or what unwanted them to buy? Do you? So I see people riot talking about that. I don't have a problem with Disney buying Fox. I think it's a perfect merger. There's so many properties over at Fox that work with Disney. And as long as Disney allows their independent stuff and their R-rated content to go on, I don't have a problem with it. I have no problem with it at all. A lot of people are going crazy and, you know, it is what it is. Current poll list. That's interesting. I do all digital right now. I haven't really bought anything in a paper or hardback copy in forever. I've been reading a lot of, like I just got done with, or I caught up with Dark Knight's Metal, which I really, really like. And I'm not a huge Batman fan, but I'm really enjoying that storyline. I think some of the X-Men stuff is really good right now. I believe, what's on my download right now? I have a few of, well, see, I'm going through a lot of old stuff. I'm reading the Spectacular Spider-Man run. Yes, I believe that's the one that I'm reading right now, which is a really old run. And I'm going to be reading the new Avengers that comes out recently, but I'm really enjoying a lot of the DC stuff. Doomsday Clock is really good. I'm really enjoying Doomsday Clock. But Marvel's having an issue right now. Everything's kind of all over the place with their comics, which sucks because I grew up reading Marvel. And that's still kind of my, like, that's my go-to, like, reading material. But I don't know what's going on with Marvel right now. But Doomsday Clock is really good, and Dark Knight's Metal is very fun. And I went back and read The Runaways. So I'm still actually reading that. I'm not caught up again. Do I mix them? No. But, oh, we talked about another drink. Hold on. I mean, let's keep it all the way 100, right? let's keep it all the way 100 and go ahead and add in some 7-Up, some Mountain Dew. This is not product placement, just for the record. This is not product placement. Let's go. It's ready. You guys want to come over? I'll order pizza. We'll watch Flashpoint Paradox animated, and I got you guys covered. I even got more in the fridge, so we're good. We're good, right? So I'm thinking about covering the 100 this year. I know it's not a comic book. Well, it's a book based on a book, but it's not a comic book. I have water, yes. But the 100 is one of my favorite shows. I didn't talk about it last year, but I'm thinking about covering it this year. Does anybody else watch the 100? Well, Sam, I kind of agree, but I would rather Richard Dragon step into the light and be a more prominent fixture, if they're going to do that, than having Caden James sort of be like the head of all of that. Thoughts on T'Challa being Black Panther during Iron Man 1? I'm okay with whatever they decide to do with Black Panther in terms of the timeline. It just looks amazing to me. Like, the whole film looks amazing. I'm totally in for the ride. I'm going to be there opening night like I am with every single comic book movie. And, I'll be ready for whatever. I'm a shill for drinking products, confirmed. So yeah, I love the 100. I love Supernatural too. There's just so much to cover right now. I feel like if I review every single thing, my channel would be so bogged down with stuff and I would be like a zombie. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much stuff to cover. So that's why I kind of want to do live streams. It's easier for me to live stream and talk about everything than it is to just do individual videos for every single show. So I'm going to start incorporating that. Next year, I'm going to change my format slightly, so it's going to be more interactive, and hopefully YouTube has fixed all of its monetization issues by next year. I watch iZombie after the season is done. I binge it. I don't watch it week to week. My last question, will you ever do a Batman trilogy review? If you have, never mind. No, I have not done it, but I would love to do that. What is my channel anymore? I know. I don't know what it is. Lucifer's really good. I should try and watch it. I watched a little bit of Lucifer, but I haven't caught up with it this season. So iZombie is dope. I like iZombie. Just do a Supernatural season 13 overview. I could do that. So here we are. We are up at the 1 hour mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it up, but I do want to remind you guys that a lot of people were asking about Patreon. I'm going to just cover it one more time for people that came in. I'm adding a $1 tier to my Patreon because some people say they want to donate. They don't have a lot of money. $1 is the lowest you can go. So I'm going to add a $1 tier that will give you guys access to all the Patreon feed and any Patreon videos that I release. The $1 tiers will be able to see it. That will give you access to all of the Discord stuff that I'm going to be adding. All of it will be there in that $1 tier. So that's going to accommodate people that want to sort of help out but don't have a lot of money. I understand. And if you don't, that's fine. Everything on Patreon will eventually get released for my channel, my regular channel. So it'll just be earlier for people on Patreon, and some of the features in Discord may be restricted for a period of time. So yes. So anyway, that's for the Patreon thing. But I want to thank you guys for coming in and seeing me. Tomorrow, I'm going to try and have my Arrow and Black Lightning review up. I do want to do my time travel video on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so that may take the place of the Arrow video first, like I did last week. I'll put the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video up first, and then the Arrow review will come out later in the day, and then Black Lightning will come out after that, because both Black Lightning and Arrow are basically done. I just have to finish doing a little fine-tuning. So anyway, thank you guys so much for stopping in. I guess Paigey got caught at lunch, so I'm going to go on Twitter and let him have it. I'm going to unleash the beast on Paigey. So anyway, I will check you guys later. Thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. And enjoy your evening, and I will catch you guys soon. See ya.